So, Amir Khan has been caught with a performance-enhancing drug and has been banned from 2 years by the British Boxing Board of Control. Finally, they're going to put their foot down. They're going to come down hard on a big-time boxer in the UK. Yeah, let's get Amir Khan. Oh, hold on. Khan's retired. Well, so how's that going to work if he's already retired? Huh? How exactly does that work? Let's still got Mr. Amir Khan up here, which is nice. Yeah. Right. Why have I got that there? That shouldn't even be there. No, I don't want that. Let's just cancel that. I don't know what is in. I don't know. Yeah. There we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit that subscribe button. I very, very much appreciate it. Hope that you all are well. So before I get tucked in, because I do want to get tucked in, fed up with all this stuff, eggs and handshakes, why don't we all wake up? Yes, well, you could say that Gareth A. Davis went to talk to Conor Benn, he ended up with egg on his face. Let's stop with the corny jokes. Right. Good evening, everybody. Before I continue, I feel this is very important to do because I've been waffling on for a while about saying I've been doing my exam. I've been doing my assignment. So let me just flash this up for you quickly. I'm taking myself off camera and do this. Let's show. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the certificate. That is the level 3 certificate. If you look at the bottom there, it says that Gary Kirsten. So he is currently the head coach for an IPL side, on which one is I'm watching IPL at the moment. He's the in England Premier League for cricket. So that's where the mecca of cricket is at the moment. So the 2020 cricket, he's a coach there. And also he was the coach that took India to number 1 in the world of world cricket. And also won the IPL, and he won the World Cup. So that's the coach that's recognized me, and I just passed the course. So there you go. That's for you all to see that I now I'm a level 3 coach. It means now that well, basically I can go and I can coach international cricket, coach different countries. So there you go. There's your level 3 coach. After that, there's only one more level after that, which is level 4, which is master coach, which is very, very few people have that. I'll be targeting that in the future at some point when once I get some work, probably when I return to the UK, or, I'll do some work in the UK and then maybe go for my level 4. We'll see. But yeah, I just want you to see that, see the certification, and let you all know that it's real. No waffling, no lying. 17 years it took me to get this, and I got no thanks to the ECB for this, so great. I'm so thankful and grateful. Thank you for Mr. Gary Kirsten and his team. Yeah, I had to do level 2 and a level 3 combined to do the level 3. Amazing time I've had, and it's certainly changed me. It's a life-changing course it has been for me. So I just wanted to share that with you all so we can get back into other things. Let's see what people are saying here in the comment section. Congrats. Very well deserved, yeah. I was having a debate the other. I was having a discussion about, crossing over, getting a boxing license and working under the tutelage of Uncle Bashir. That would have been amazing to do. But, I'm getting a lot of success in cricket now, and I would love to get some success in boxing. I think if I'm going to do that now, having looked at things now, I probably would go for my professional boxing license. Boxing license stroke managerial, and then from there I might go that route. I want to get my boxing license, and I want to be independent. Once I'm independent, then I may go and work with Uncle Bashir. But I think I'll be independent. Just trusting certain things. Congrats, Ingram. Your hard work is paying off. Your workman-like ethics have brought you from success to success. Yeah, absolutely. And it's harder. It's been much harder here to get that. I've had to deal with no light, so we don't have 24-hour light in Africa. Where this part of Africa, in Nigeria, we don't have 24-hour light, so we may have light 2-3 hours a day. So you're having to put your generator on. Then we have all the banks that are shut, and you're only allowed to take out £10 a day. ATMs are shut. So if you can imagine a cashless society, I'm literally living in a cashless society as we speak, as I'm talking to you at this point in time. So going for a cashless society and having to get your head down to study, and going for a general election where the streets are so unsafe, and you've got riots, people, police officers shooting one another. I've seen somebody at a polling station going and trying to steal a polling box, like voters box, and run off, and the police just go bam, shooting dead in broad daylight. So if you can imagine the mentality that's out here, it's not clear, it's not good, So glad Ben didn't fight Eubank. Now that we all know everything, no expectant parent should be made to box when he or she them are soon to be a parent. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so let's talk about this evening. Let's talk about first this man, Amir Khan. So Khan has been banned. When I heard this, I thought three things came to my mind. The first thing I thought was like, oh, the British Boxing Board of Control are putting their foot down and they're banning Amir Khan. I said the ban for 2 years. I thought, wait, hold on. Hasn't Amir Khan retired? So if he's retired and then he's going to get the ban for 2 years, he's not going to come back and box again. So they've banned him for 2 years. That's really meaning nothing. But they're putting the foot down. So it looks like, yeah, we've made an example of Amir Khan. I'm like, yeah, really, but he's retired. So it's kind of like smoke and mirror sort of nonsense. But then I thought, hold on. So you're doing this at this time where you're also investigating, or supposedly Conor Benn's under investigation by the British Boxing Board of Control, and the British Boxing Board of Control are catching heat because of the Ben Eubank situation. And they're also catching it because of the Catrell Taylor situation still. So is this a warning sign to Conor Benn? Like indiscreet, like they're basically showing subtly, listen, we've just banned Amir Khan and he's got a British Boxing Board of Control license and he's making more money than you and he's a bigger name than you and he's a welterweight. So he's a welterweight. He's British. He's got a license. He's a bigger name than you, and we banned him for 2 years. So if we can ban him for 2 years, we can certainly ban you for 2 years, Ben. And you're nothing like Khan. And I know the mentality of these. I don't know if it's British Boxing Board of Control, but I know that sort of like we're letting your lawyers know, we're letting you people know, we're directing, we're showing you, look, there's Amir Khan. That's what we've done we've done this with a high profile boxer. So we're not just picking on Conor Benn. We're not just picking on Conor Benn as an isolated incident or it's racist, because guess what? We're going for Amir Khan now as well. I don't know, but that's kind of what I felt like. Whoa, Ingram is cashless. This must be quite a learning experience. Are you learning Yoruba or Igbo? Yoruba. It's Yoruba. I mean, but the thing is, it's been cashless for a while. So yeah, all the lights were off. I hope you didn't watch AJ then. Oh no, the lights were on then. We've got light here now, but it's because of the generator. So if you ever see me playing games and the light cuts out, that's because I'm using the current that they've got here. So it's for 3 or 4 hours and it cuts out. Horrible. I first thought, wait, I thought he was retired. Yeah, exactly. Why is Amir only now getting banned after already having fighting and making tons of money? There you go. It's like sending the police to the graveyard to arrest the deceased. And what is the point? The point is that Amir Khan was banned by the British Boxing Board of Control, who was a high earning athlete and was known globally. We banned him. Yeah, but 2 years. Yeah, 2 years too late. But we banned him. We banned him. We banned Amir Khan. So we're banning Amir Khan, and it's good for. I guess it's kind of good for your legal defense. We banned Amir Khan. Yeah, we banned him. If we can ban him, why can't we ban Ben? My auntie was an anti-doping official in the 80s. Okay, she said that at the collegiate level, and especially WWF, WWE, 9 times out of 10, they are on something. Blew my mind. Yeah, probably. I remember Dave Allen saying most people, top athletes are on something. I remember Dave Allen saying it to me. They must be on something. So, but who's gonna say anything about it? So yeah, my thoughts are on that. It's all very much smoke and mirrors. It sounds good until you investigate it further. And why is those tests coming out now? Why did those tests not come 24 hours, 48 hours, a month later? When did Khan and Brook fight? So why is the test coming out now? Why didn't they come out so I'm sure they do urine and blood sample. They do urine samples at the end of the fight, because if you remember, Joshua was doing his blood samples at the end of his fight. I know some people will say, well, Joshua's still an earner, so he's a big earner still, so they can always fiddle that. Okay. I know some will say that, but still, he did his tests after the fight. So surely they would have tested Khan after the fight. How long does it take for them to know that you were doing something that was illegal? 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, a month. I mean, I'm sure Khan and Brook didn't fight just a month ago. So why is it taking so long to come out? Paul Manaji tried to lift the carpet slightly on the level of doping, and he was hushed. Had to settle a court case, had to settle out court as well, hanging there poorly. Right, really? Okay, we'll have to look into that a bit more at some point. Okay, so that's that situation. We've talked about Amir Khan being banned. Why does he care? So I'm more concerned about Kell Brook, who's looking to come back now. Talk about him coming back. He's saying that he's disgusted because he's a family man and Khan's a family man, and Khan took something knowingly on the night. There's that. He tried to kill him on the night. That's what Brook is thinking about Khan now. So that's made things more distasteful between the two of them. And if he's been done for this fight, and the other thing people are asking, well, okay, who was his strength and conditioning trainer for that one? They said, well, whoever your strength and conditioning trainer was for that, plus you took the PEDs, well, you should ask for a refund, because Brook still walked straight through you. That's what some people are laughing and saying. But there you go. The timing of the releasing, this is suspect. Of course it's suspect. All right, very quickly, I'll talk about Conor Benn at the Joshua fight and him pushing Gareth A. Davis away. Well, it's like, how do I describe that situation? That would be like your mate has been messing around with your wife for the last 6 months, and you know about it, and then you meet up with him, he shakes your hand, wants to be your friend, and is saying if you could be friends and sit down and watch the boxing together. I mean, excuse me, like, you've really done some things that have really damaged my life, messed up my life, and now you want me to turn around and welcome you back? What? Slap your left cheek and then the right cheek as well? So you tell me. I just doubt Gareth A. Davis. He amazes me sometimes. Don't care if Ben's on horse tranquilizers. I think Brook blows him out of the water on any night. Brook He's a huge welterweight. Wouldn't mind watching that fight now. Brooke versus Ben. AJ won't fight till next year now. Why? Gareth A.F. Davies is a low-rent version of Walter Cronkite. He's there to push people, but he takes liberties. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a great fan of Gareth A. Davis. You know, I've never been a great fan of him, but this neither here nor there. Let's move on. So, Tony Bellew. Listen, I've said this before. I'll say it again, and I'll keep on saying. When your mate is in the ring boxing, I really don't think you should be on comms. I really don't think you should be doing... you should be on comms, first and foremost. It's a conflict of interest. And there's a lot of conflict of interest when AJ fights. You had Laura Woods. I didn't realize she looked so good. Laura Woods snuggling up with AJ doing an interview. I'm like, what the hell is this? I mean, you're meant to be doing an interview and it's like you're snuggling up like you two are mates. That's too pally-wally for me. And it's like borderline unprofessional for me. Like, I you know, where's that professionalism there? I love Laura Woods, but I'm sorry. I just think there's a line. There's a line and a line. And especially when you're pally-wally, like, we're mates and I'm fans. And I don't want to hear that, you know, because it clouds judgment. And you can't give a clear, defining, you know, opinion or an analysis. You've got Tony Bellew there who's going to say, well, AJ will come back and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, Tony, really? You know, you need people who are objective. And Tony Bellew's not objective. He's too emotional. And for me, he's too emotional. Like, I do like Tony Bellew because he's forthright, but you can be forthright. But when you're forthright and it's your mates, it's a bit different. You're not so forthright. It's a conflict of interest, a problem there. So the zone should never had Tony Bellew there in the first place. I don't even think they should have Carl Froch there because Carl Froch has got some issues with AJ. I don't think he should be either. So he shouldn't be commentating on AJ. Bellew shouldn't be commenting on AJ. Spence Oliver shouldn't comment on AJ. Laura Wood should not be commenting on AJ. Anybody who's an AJ fan, you know, even bloody Harry Carpenter when he was commentating on Frank Bruno, get in there, Frank. You know, when he was fighting Mike Tyson, I think to myself, you're there to give a non-biased view of what's going on. You, as the expert, are meant to give a non-biased view as to what you're seeing and painting the picture, a non-biased view, not your own personal opinion of your mate. Because if you told me, if my mate is boxing now, it's very hard for me to tell her and say, he's not very good. He's definitely going to win this fight. He's going to get smashed to bits tonight. I can't say that. If somebody I don't know or somebody that, you know, I don't have any connection to, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Look at his fight. I'm not sure. I mean, he's got a chance. He's got a puncher's chance, but I don't fancy his chances in this one because of X, Y, Z. Or I think he's going to win this fight because of A, B, and C. But like, and particularly now, also being as a co-host for a national TV station, there's no way I could sit down and talk about, like, even when I talk about boxing and I talk about Derek James or talk about James Ali Bashir, I do talk about that relationship I had with them or I have with them. But I don't let that cloud my judgment. Say, look, these guys are great. Like I've said, Derek James is he's a very good trainer at welterweight. But I've said the problem with Derek James is he hasn't actually trained a heavyweight. So this is very much an experiment for him. I think the fact he's a heavyweight or has been a heavyweight fighter gives him that advantage. But, he's only going to know about AJ after the first fight. So those are my thoughts there. I never said, well, Derek James is a great trainer and, everything's going to work brilliantly. He's a magician. And I said, no. I said, there's going to be some shortcomings here. Gareth, Gareth A. Davis, but you don't feel just before making outrageous statements that rise or fight his anger. I like Simon Jordan, put me straight in his place. The Frotch cam caught all the angles of the Bellew trainer tussle, thanks to Carl Frotch duck. Yeah, good old Carl there. Nah, it's fine for me as long as it wasn't before the fight. Plus, IFL TV did that for views. Yeah, I know they did it for views, but still, I don't like it. It's personal. I don't like it. I don't like it. Me, personally, I don't like it because it's that in business, in any other business, that was a conflict of interest. I think because you like the person, you really like them. It's conflict of interest, I think. So you can't ask objectively questions about, look, your performance wasn't great. If you can't get of Jermaine Franklin, then where does it say about your career? And how does you not blowing Jermaine Franklin audition you for a fight for Tyson Fury anyway? Man, Ingram. So who's left to commentate? Ian Dark, Glenn McCrory, Peter Fury, Dave Allen, quite objective. There's a lot of people around in boxing. There's a lot of people around. Just not people who are fanboys of AJ. Sorry. Adam Smith, David Hay, Nassim Hamed seem to be good commentators. David Hay, yeah, Hay's good. Nassim Hamed, yes. Duke McKenzie. What happens to Duke McKenzie? Duke McKenzie's decent. You know, anybody's not on that fanboy thing, that sort of AJ, you know, that, you know, free ticket AJ, just want to snap photos with AJ, want to autograph AJ. I know AJ, therefore I get the ladies. Yeah, all that nonsense has to, me personally, if you want to be professional, there's no better than Sky, to be honest. Really no better. Like back in the day when Sky used to have Paul Smith fighting and the other Smiths would be commentating, or Callum Smith is fighting and his brother's commentating. How the hell can that be objective? Or Paul Smith is fighting for a world title and they're asking Callum Smith or Stephen Smith or Liam Smith to commentate on his brother's fight. How's that non-biased? Or having John Fury there in the arena, or John Fury in this studio talking about his son. He's not exactly going to go say his son's going to lose a fight, is he? I mean, it's just ridiculous, and I just don't see the sense of it. Right, so moving that on. So I want to thank one of our viewers and supporters for sending me an AJ clip. It was an AJ clip where AJ was asked his opinion on Dillian Whyte's fight against Jermaine Franklin. And Anthony Joshua turned around and said along the lines of, well, you know, there we go. I told you about, what did I tell you about the light? What did I tell you about the light? So let me just turn this off here. I could put my light. No, we'll leave it as this. We'll leave it. We'll do this. So have I got a light here? I haven't got a light. So Anthony Joshua. No, yeah, do this. Let's turn this off. Yeah, so Anthony Joshua now. He was told, I'm going to get light now. Am I going to get light? Yeah, I've got some light. Lovely. I've got light. And we have light. We've got a lot of light, actually. There we go. Let's put that there. And we shall continue. So Anthony Joshua, when he was asked a question about the Dillian Whyte fight, he turned around and he said along the lines of, "Oh, well, I don't school fights, you know. I don't school fights, you know. But you got to think to yourself, you know, Dillian Whyte fought Jermaine Franklin, and Jermaine Franklin, you know, he's an up and coming heavyweight. But really, you need to be knocking guys out if you're talking about being in the top 5. You need to be knocking guys out like that, you know. And so when you got the opportunity to fight Jermaine Franklin, what happened? Did you knock him out? So does that mean that you're not worthy to be in the top 5? Just asking the question now, because you were criticizing Dillian for knocking him out, and at least Dillian was unbeaten when Dillian fought him. Franklin was unbeaten. So what is it? Is it the case that Dillian's not very good? Jermaine Franklin's very good, or you're not very good. Which one is it? Because Dillian White had a new trainer, you had a new trainer. Dillian White fought him unbeaten. You fought him having lost the fight, or arguably lost the fight. But Dillian White fought him, he had first dibs, as they say. So where are we going with that, Joshua? Just a question. And the other question is, how does fighting Jermaine Franklin prepare you to fight Tyson Fury? How is Jermaine Franklin an audition for you to fight Tyson Fury? In fact, how is Dillian White an audition? Dillian White is a better audition to fight Tyson Fury than Jermaine Franklin. Why? Because Dillian White is a big heavyweight, 1. 2, he just finished fighting Tyson Fury. 3, there's no rivalry there. Now, you think to yourself, if Dillian White was fighting Joshua, who was tentative on the night, would Joshua have beaten Dillian White on the night? Was there enough opportunities in that fight for Dillian White to take advantage of during the fight? And if Dillian White was able to let that left hook go against Anthony Joshua, what would have happened? Let me leave that there as well. So what else we've got to talk about? We've talked about Khan. We've talked about Joshua, AJ. Welterweights. So June the 17th, I believe, is the date for Spence versus Crawford. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but as far as I'm concerned, I will not believe it until the press conference is called and 2 men in the room. I'll leave it as that. But if it happens, it's brilliant because they have to get it happen now because people are probably sick and tired and bored of talking about it. So I would not do a whole show talk about Spence and Crawford unless I see the two of them doing a press conference. Push that to one side. What else have I got to talk about? Yes, Conor Benn has just put on his Instagram that he'll be fighting on June the 2nd in Abu Dhabi. So if Conor Benn is going ahead and fighting in Abu Dhabi, even though he may be under investigation, big up to you as well, John. He's going to box in Abu Dhabi, regardless of what the British Boxing Board of Control have got to say. So yeah, I don't think that does him any favors. Crawford said April Fools 30 minutes ago. Oh, fantastic. Great. So let's leave that right where it is. All those people have probably got 432 people in the room watching to hear about Spence Crawford against April Fools. That's funny. So I said I'm not even going to talk about it until I see the two guys in the ring together. So, yeah. Like that whole fight between... they said Spence had another car accident. Did he even have a car accident? Can somebody clarify that for me, please? So I think Spence is meant to fight Crawford next. That's what I heard. Not Crawford. Thurman, sorry. Bellew is a bellend. I blame David Hay. If he came in fully fit, we would never have saw Bellew poisoning the TV screen. Well, for some reason, he's on the comms. I don't know why he's on the comms commentating it. It's like, it just seems to me like a cabal. That's what it seems like. Like when Joshua fights, it's almost like a secret society that meet when Joshua fights. And all these ghouls come out when Joshua fights. All the ghouls come out. All the ghouls come out. You know, all the, don't say this, don't say that crowd. The Joshua's great crowd all come out in force. It's like, I don't know. If you watch carefully, look at the body language of Tony Bellew and Eddie Hearn when Dillian White is talking about his views on Anthony Joshua. Did they really think that Dillian White, who's a rival and thinks he should have been fighting Anthony Joshua on the night instead of Jermaine Franklin, do you really think he's going to sit there or stand there with a microphone? You already know that Dillian White is an independent man, an independent of thought for the most part. He's going to sit there and get on the comments and say, yeah, Joshua looked brilliant tonight. He's not going to do that, is he? So Eddie Hearn's looking there and going, looking at Dillian White, let's say, no, please don't say anything stupid. Don't say anything that's going to make us look even worse than we look at the moment. Please don't. And I'm like, Didn't want to say, no, Joshua looked bad, man. Joshua's lost his aggression, man. Yeah, he's still got the boxing ability, but he's lost the eye of the tiger. And Hearns, they're going, oh God, I'll have to do a rebuilding job there. And if you look at Tony Bellew, he's constantly twitching his earpiece, constantly twitching his earpiece. I don't know if that earpiece, while the earpiece was on, he was twitching. It was basically saying, somebody was saying to Dillian White, yeah, I don't say them things. I don't know. Why Joshua kick off after the bell rings and not before? Well, two questions. Why did Joshua kick off afterwards and show more intent after the bell than through the whole fight? One, unless he was scared of Franklin. And two, why is it that the trainer had more energy, more fight, and more intent in his punches than Anthony Joshua did? You look at Derek James in that corner. He probably would have given Franklin a better fight than Joshua. He looked like, because you see where Derek James throwing the punches and he was animated in the corner. He reminded me in some ways, the way he was doing all those animated movements in the corner. He reminded me of Emmanuel Stewart. Like when Emmanuel Stewart was talking to Lennox Lewis. But I don't think James and Joshua have got that bonding yet. I think they had 6 or 8 weeks together. So maybe in the second fight, I'll have better connection. But I don't know I don't know what James can do to bring out that ambition in Joshua. How can White talk when he arguably lost to Franklin? You know how he can talk? Because he fought Franklin when he was unbeaten. He fought Franklin when a lot of people were disrespecting Franklin. And I told people Franklin was a dangerous fight. You've got a lot of copy and paste people in boxing that won't do the research, that will just say, American, never heard of him, never watched him fight, he must be a bum. So it's copy and paste. And there's a lot of lazy journalists. I know we didn't call them journalists, copy and paste buddies in boxing. Copy and paste. So that's what happens. So then Franklin, because they're lazy and they won't do the research, they're not really boxing buffs, they won't go and do the research. Franklin's a bum, obviously fought, okay, so then that means Dillian White's going to knock him out. Instead of doing your research and look at the type of guys that Franklin was fighting and sort of fights Franklin was in. Franklin was in real firefights before he came to the UK. Real back and forths against big guys. So, and he didn't back down when he was going toe to toe with some of these guys. So I don't think James can control AJ. It looks to me AJ is going to get worse mentally. Maybe so, probably so. I've always said AJ's issues are not physical. His issues have always been his mental approach. Always been his mental approach. He's lost fights before he's got in the ring. And if you listen to AJ, the way AJ's talking and communicating now, it's almost like he's begging for the fight against. He sounds like a guy who's already retired. You listen to how he talks, we've been here before, you know my camp, I know your camp, I'd be honored to fight Tyson Fury. Really? You talking with such, respect for Tyson Fury, you talk with so much utmost respect for Tyson Fury and all this stuff. What happened? It's almost like you're groveling, you're begging for a fight with him. Frank said 4 weeks' notice and he was working in a factory when he got the call to fight White. Yeah. But do you think, let me ask you a question. Do you think the extra weight, if Franklin had more weight behind his punches, do you think he could have rocked Joshua more? He was in shape when he fought AJ. Okay, he was in he was in shape when he fought AJ. He was lighter when he fought AJ. And Franklin sagged at the end of the fight. And White threw more punches, I think, than AJ did. And White took the fight to Franklin for the most part. So a different fight, totally different fight. And yeah, Franklin had less time to prepare against White, right? But he had more time to prepare against AJ and he was lighter. If he was heavier against AJ, I'd like to know what would happen with those punches. Did you notice he was looking out or the corner when clutching. Yeah. He was looking out the ring, concerned. I think if Franklin had another crack at as a heavy amount, I think he perhaps would have dropped AJ once at least. This is what I'm saying. He was heavier when he fought Dillian White. Even when he fought those other fights, he was heavier and he was going toe to toe with them guys. Toe to toe with them big guys. So I would like to see him heavier. I think Joshua fought a lighter man, but I don't know if he fought a better man. I don't know where in Franklin's career he's been that light before. I'd even ask I wonder if Franklin even was told to lose that weight. I wonder. I don't know. He's lighter. So there's not as much snap on the punch. You haven't got the weight. Okay, let me give you a good example of this. Evander Holyfield, when he fought Riddick Bowe the first fight, Evander Holyfield when he fought Riddick Bowe the second fight. Evander Holyfield was 210 when I think it was 210 when he fought 210 when he fought Bowe the first time. Or 205 or 210. And in the rematch, I think it was 215, something like that, when he fought Bowe in the rematch. And you see the punches when he hit Bowe, he was able to hurt Bowe significantly. And you can see the meat on those punches. It was a 5 or 10 pounds difference. So Franklin may have trimmed down, expecting a more dynamic and high-paced fight. Yeah, well, there you go. Are there any topics I've missed out on before I finish here? Have I missed out on any other topics? Anything I missed out on? Talked about British Boxing Board of Control, Ben, Joshua, Usyk Dubois. Yes, Dubois says that Usyk has never been hit as hard as he's going to get hit by Dubois. But just Dubois said, I think Dubois has got some form of amnesia because Joshua hit him. Joe Joyce has hit him. In fact, he's been hit by some of the hardest punches in world boxing. And you with your slow feet and your slow hands who got dropped by a southpaw in Larea, you're talking about you're going to land on Usyk and beat Usyk. You crazy. Usyk's going to knock this guy out inside the first 6 rounds because if Larea is touching you, you're falling over and you almost break an ankle. God forbid what's going to happen when Usyk hits you, Dubois. Listen, that's a short night's work for Usyk. Speed, power. Do you think we will get any of the top 3 fight each other this year? God knows. I don't know. Yeah, the welterweights in England. Tell us what you think of what you think the welterweights are going. No, I was just going to talk about Spence and Crawford, June 17th. That was all I was saying on that. Ben, we've talked about welterweights. We've talked about Ben. We've talked about Khan. I want to see Joyce in there with someone. Yeah, he's fighting Zhang. You better be careful against Zhang because Joshua wanted no part of Zhang in his comeback. You want to be careful of Zhang. I got a bad feeling about that Zhang fight. Dubois versus Usyk, I think goes Usyk. Well, unfortunately, he might break the other orbital bone. When one goes, the other usually goes not long after. Yeah, I think so. Is dubious even going to land against Usyk? Yeah, you got the right spelling there. Dubious. It's dubious because I said he'd find a way out against the Joe Joyce fight, and he did. And he'll find a way out against Usyk. And he's looking for a way out against that Larea as well. I don't know how he got back against that Larea. I don't even know how he got back into that fight. Sure, he showed some heart and guts, but I have no idea what Larea was doing that night because he had him hurt. He had Dubois out of there. And for some reason, he just stopped throwing punches and let Dubois punch him up. I don't understand. He turned from warrior to punch bag in a space of less than a round. And in the end, let Dubois throw an uppercut, almost not lifting his head off his shoulders. So yeah, well, he deserved that after that. Because I mean, how you 1 minute you win in a fight, you drop a guy. Maybe that wasn't the plan. Maybe that was not what Frank Warren wanted for him. I don't know, but it certainly was very dubious the ending of that fight. Or let's say the middle to end of that fight because he had Dubois hurt. Every time he hurt Dubois, was hurting him. And then all of a sudden, the guy just backs off and starts getting ticked by a whole heap of punches and falls over. Dillian versus Dubois. That's more interesting. That's more interesting. Again, if Dillian touches him with that left hook, it's problems. I've always felt Dubois is one of these guys that doesn't mind dishing it out, but when it starts firing back the other way, he A, has no defense to it, and B, he doesn't like it. You know. So they're saying Joshua's a guy that likes a shower, but just doesn't like to get wet. That's the same for Joshua. But I think I'd say the same. I'd say more the same thing about Dubois. Likes a shower, just doesn't like to get wet. Dubois, but White versus Dubois would be a firefight, would it? I don't know if it would. I think as soon as Dubois gets hit with a left hook, it could be all over. Interesting fight. No interest in watching it. I would like to see Dubois versus Joseph Parker. That fight I would like to see. Clearly got paid off. Well, somebody must have run around that corner of that ring and said, "Hey, give me extra 200,000 if you just make sure your head gets taken off into row Z, right at the back there, and yeah, you'll get paid for it." I think Karen Dubois is still developing and getting better every fight, while Daniel's pretty much finished article. I think see Karen knocking on Shields' door soon. Yeah, she might knock on the door. Don't mean Shields going to answer it. I'm looking forward if Shields fights. What's her name? Jonas. Tasha Jonas versus Shields. I want to see that fight so much. I think it's going to be a great fight. Shields versus Jonas. I don't think Jonas can knock Shields out. I mean, I think that's her only chance to knock Shields out. I don't think there's much more she can do in that situation. If Dillian White gets tapped on the chin by an uppercut, he's finished. Yeah, but I think Dubois is going to catch a hold an uppercut, hold the hook before that happens. So, and I think that under what's this guy's name? Under Buddy McGirt, he released his boxing to instructions, which is a good thing. Right, I don't think I've got much more to talk about. Shields versus Jonas is a good fight, and I don't think Jonas has enough to keep Shields off her. Light middleweight might be interesting. I think she's got enough punching power to keep her off her. Definitely got enough punching power to keep her off her. I think she's got enough punching power to keep her off her. But it's not keeping off as the problem. It's stopping her. She's got enough power to get the respect, but it's to stop her. That's the thing, If she can hurt Shields enough to break up that momentum, then it's an interesting fight. She's got to be able to hurt Shields in the first couple of rounds, because she can't hurt Shields significantly in the first couple of rounds. She'll swarm her for sure, because that's what Shields will do. Shields will look to swarm Jonas, get close, let her hands go, get right up close. Do not allow Jonas to use that, be rangy and lose the left hand. I think the true threats to Shields are the Marshall rematch, Dubois next year, and perhaps Alicia Baumgardner in the future at catchweight. Yeah, Alicia Baumgardner. I love Alicia Baumgardner. I just like her style. And she's got hands. I love the way she fights. Right, let me get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, share the video, please, and do like the video. It's encouraging for myself to keep doing these videos. Thanks again.